Tesla.
Wolf of Dubai.
It seems as a Tesla investor that the breaking news doesn't stop just recently for Tesla. I mean, almost every single day now for the last couple of weeks, we just see every news coming out very, very strong, and big news coming out very, very strong. And this is one that I directly saw that this is one of the breaking news. So let's dive directly into it. The familiar sources of this breaking news said that, and there's apparently 3 familiar sources with the matter, that Tesla just received the green light for a long-term 5-year 10 billion yuan, Chinese yuan loan, which is approximately $1.4 billion. And I'm saying long term because the previous month, if we just go back a couple of months or weeks, we saw that Chinese banks gave Tesla a short-term loan where they financed the build and ramp up of the Chinese Gigafactory. Now this loan is actually finishing in March 2020, and that's why it was a short-term loan, and this one is a big long-term loan, and therefore, you know, they are calling it long-term loan. However, let's go further. So the new loan is just 10 billion versus the old loan's 3.5 billion. You see that it's the triple amount of what they owed to the backers before, and now they the bears actually said that time that this beautiful Chinese, approximately 4%, China will never get such a good loan or under such a good condition ever. And now a couple of months later, goodbye bears, because they are just the dead, and with even the triple amount of money that they're lending from the Chinese backers. And so you can see here that there's a huge, let's say, trust in the Tesla solvency, which is very positive, because the new market of e-vehicles, a very strong market for e-vehicles for Tesla, will be China, and therefore to have such a support financially as well as the government support is really beautiful and very positive to see. And also the stock just rose a couple of percent on this breaking news. Now let's dive a little bit more into the loan and what will happen with the loan. So the actual backers of this loan is China Construction Bank, Agriculture Bank of China, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, and the Shanghai Pudong Development Bank. So this loan has 90% of Chinese benchmark loan, and this is usually a number that only the very best Chinese clients of big banks are getting. So you see that Tesla, though they just started and just came into the market, they are getting already such beautiful conditions for financing here. Obviously, you know, you have to always see what are the fine condition and the fine print, which, you know, we as retail investors, we will not get the chance to read those. But actually, you know, this is very, very positive. This is very, very strong statement also for Tesla and China, and therefore the big question comes up now: for what they need those 10 billion yuan? So first of all, they will refinance the first loan, and I can imagine something like the first backers of the first loan said, you know, we will give you 3.5 billion and show us what you can do with the money, that you can do it. And afterwards, if everything goes successful, which it did, I mean, the China factory just went up from a piece of land until a full functioning gigafactory in just 10 months. This is record time. Even for China, is very, very strong and very, very fast. And therefore, you see there's success. And I believe this was also the reasons that, you know, they got even more money, the triple amount of money. Now, first of all, they will pay back the first short-term loan. So they will cover the 3.5 billion yuan from the 10 billion. And then they will be left off with some 6.5 billion yuan left from this loan. So therefore the source is saying that the rest of the money and the rest of the loan will be used for operations, and I can imagine that they will obviously ramp up and conclude and complete the Gigafactory in China, but also they will move forward and will maybe create a Model Y line, because until now we only speaking about Model 3, and they want to ramp it up to 1,000 models per week towards the end of next year. So I can imagine that Model Y, because they share 75% of the parts, will be a very logical steps, one of the steps. And also another point that I can imagine, that they will also assemble or create the infrastructure to create the battery packs for the cars there as well, and obviously moreover to increase. So all of this, you know, this is very positive, and this gives the Tesla stock more energy, you know, much more energy to move forward. And if the Q1 will be successful, and remember the date 26th of January, they will release the Q4 numbers for Tesla, which will be super interesting. And if they make a huge positive earnings, then this stock can go up very, very fast, very, very big time. Or they will use all the money to build a second Gigafactory in China.